Tonight in the Nightcap conversation, we're talking about single people and the art of being single because this season of your life can be so much more than a period of loneliness, but maybe even a moment that is also full of purpose. To help us unpack this conversation tonight, we have our relationship coach, my favorite, Dr. Bibi Petla, is back in studio. She is a wife and a mother of three. She's also a qualified medical doctor that has her own private practice that she founded in 2008. She also holds an MBA, and amongst other things, she's also an executive coach and performance coach, and our most favorite one, the relationship coach. Dr. Bibi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I mean, we're seeing each other under different circumstances. The
Yes.
last time we saw each other, we were talking about finding love. Today, we're just like, okay, since then, I have not found the love, so I need to be okay with myself, no?
Yeah. That's real life.
That is real life. My
Yeah.
mom always says, life is not a wish granting factory, Danam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh well, it is what it is. Tonight we're talking about the art of being single. Why do you think this conversation is important for us to have, especially today, out of all days, on Valentine's Day?
Well, this conversation is always important to have. You know, it's almost as important as the conversation of losing someone,
Mm.
being a single mom, being single, losing a job. So it's loss, and a sense of loss is a real life situation. So being able to embrace both extremes is always ideal because that's reality. We will always experience both, and we should be able to be in the moment of the feeling, whatever the feeling is, because you'll always be moving between the two. So it's important to talk about that also, because otherwise we're not being realistic, and that's where we lose ourselves.
100%. And I like the fact that we mentioned the word feelings because obviously a lot of feelings are going
Mhm.
around today. Some feelings are, couples sharing how in love they are and how happy. Oh, shoot me now. But what are some other feelings that people might be having today?
Well,
Single people.
single people.
Yeah. What are the feelings they might be feeling today?
The feelings are going to be determined by where they are in their own space and energy. So if you are single, but it's your choice, obviously you still have positivity around it.
Mm.
If you're single and it's not your choice, obviously you're not happy.
Hey.
It's like with a baby, throwing a tantrum.
Yeah.
Like you want this now, and you're like, no, but you still have to do one, two, three first. Then you throw a tantrum, but then tantrums are painful. And sometimes you have to go through tantrums until you understand that, okay, I'm done with the tantrum. What do I need to do now?
Hey, I think I'm still in the tantrum part because I got cheated on. That's why I'm single
Yeah,
this
it makes
Valentine's
sense.
Day.
It makes sense.
So it's not by choice. It's really not by choice. But yeah, it is what it is. Doc, let's talk a bit about you. Let's talk about your single life before you are in a serious commitment. How
Yeah.
was that for you, being single?
Being single. How long was I single for? Can't remember.
I mean, the last time we
Um,
spoke, I
at
remember
some
you
point,
mentioned
yeah,
that you always thought that it's something that needs to happen. It was something that was modeled for you.
yeah.
So
The idea of marriage and
yeah,
being together.
yeah.
And yes, I was in a relationship that didn't go well. A chronic relationship, meaning it was so long, such a long relationship.
It was serious.
It was serious but critical. That type of relationship.
Practical but stable.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
there's somebody's in high care ICU, not yet discharged. I'm not sure how this is gonna turn
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Kind of that type of situation. But eventually, when one was able to move away, then one had to realize that look, if I don't change something about where I am, I'm going to be in a similar situation. So it's about using this time to say, okay, what went wrong?
Mm.
What is it that I want that I'm not getting? So it's about that introspection that we speak loosely about it, like introspection, but people don't know what is this introspection.
Yeah.
And also it's not such a common thing to be single. It's almost like if you're single, you're missing something, you're missing a leg. It's like, why are you single?
Yeah.
Like life.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? And that is the worst thing because we end up getting to relationships before we are ready, or at least before we know what we want in that relationship. So you quickly get in, but you quickly going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Because you didn't plan, you didn't reflect, you didn't say, okay, if I didn't like X, how can I create the Y that I want?
Yeah. And avoid getting another ex wherever I'm
Exactly.
going.
Exactly.
Huh. I mean, Doc, I can tell you now, for me, the hardest part about being single is the pouring of myself into different people, you know? Like, I think I live such a dynamic life and things are constantly changing and I constantly need someone to talk to. But now you go on different dates and you're like, was it you that I told about this thing? Oh, no, it wasn't you. I skis it as another person. Talk to me about what was the hardest part.
It's hectic.
Please don't judge me. Please. Talk to me about what was the hardest part about being single for you.
Obviously, it's always that, that space where you see other people that look happy. It's also the same when you're pregnant and the father of the baby is not there, and you're seeing other pregnant women with the baby's fathers and they're rubbing their shoulders, they're rubbing their bellies.
Yeah,
And they're like,
they're having shoots.
They're having shoes. I'm like, oh, I don't want this ice cream. I want that. And then you are sitting there thinking, if this guy can just be here, I'll wash his feet,
Yeah.
So you always, it's also another way of looking at it or how it feels for those who don't know, but I doubt everybody has been through that at some point. It's also like watching somebody who has the type of success you wish for and that you don't have it yet and you want it.
And you crave it.
And you can see that this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what I would want. So just taking it back to say, okay, now how do I get to that? It takes a lot then to to pull back and say, okay, how many steps back do I need to go or steps forward do I need to take for me to get to that which I wish for, that I long for?
But what I'm getting now is that it's actually not such a bad thing. The bad thing is here that siyaghala. Like we want what we don't have and we don't want what we're ready for. I guess if I can put it that way.
You are so wise. You've come so much wiser since the last time we spoke.
And then why am I single? Why am I single? No way. No way.
But you're getting there.
Okay.
Because you're able to discern that eventually it's about you.
Yeah.
You're getting there. Eventually it's about you.
I'm so proud of myself.
You're making progress, honestly.
Thank you, Doc. Talk to me about why people see singleness as such a horrible and a dreadful place. And I mean, now we know that we have these feelings of, but I wish I had that. I wish I had someone to go home to. I wish I had someone to talk to. But what are other things that we could what are the reasons why we could see singleness as a dreadful and horrible place?
Well, human beings are emotional beings.
Yeah.
So it's natural to want to belong. It's a basic need. You want to belong somewhere with someone, with certain people, with a certain common vision. So it's a natural desire that each and everyone has. So it's just a matter of being matured sometimes to say, okay, that is what I would wish for, but I can see I'm not yet there, or I'm getting there, or let me get help. Let me ask, because what we normally the resource that we don't use a lot is, role modeling, mentoring, so to say, where you see somebody who is doing what you want or somebody who has what you want. Go up to them and say, I really admire what you have. I admire what you do. I'm willing to learn. Where can I get these resources? What do I need to do? So just a basic thing of avoiding the pressure of sounding like you know everything, you have everything, because there's no way that you do. Just the humbleness to say, let me go and ask, let me research, let me reach out. Because the more you're willing to accept and be real with, this is how I'm feeling, but I'm willing to, that's when things change.
100%. I agree with you. Let's change the mindset now. Let's go into positivity, because I think everything happens for a reason. So surely there must be a purpose in whatever journey we have. How should we look at the period of singleness in our lives? What are the thoughts that I'm supposed to be telling myself? Where, along which lines am I supposed to be thinking during this period?
Yeah. So singleness is like any other era in your life when things seem to be a bit down because it's not what you had wished for. Because if you are highlighting the singleness, it means you are conscious of not being with someone. So when you embrace that, okay, this is where I am now, and you say, okay, what do I need to do now? I'm single. And rather than the best example, just to quickly get it there, is imagine somebody has the money that you want, living the life that you want. You want it. And then you even ask them, then they say, no, you have to work hard, it takes time, and you're like, I don't have time. I want the money now. I need to be in Dubai, as in like now. I need to be posting as in yesterday.
Yeah.
So what it means then, if you don't embrace the reality of where you are, which is you taking the power of the situation back to you, then you have to do something to fast track the process. And that's where you get bent. So you can fast track it in whatever way that you want to fast track it. But
Because
you're going to
anything is
get bent.
possible, right?
You will get bent.
Yeah, yeah,
because,
yeah.
like we're saying the other time, nothing happens in the universe and disappears. The universe has an account, ins and
Hey.
outs, ins and outs.
Yeah.
So you have to embrace that moment as in, okay, maybe this is the time where I need to just calm down, get back to myself, which is the biggest thing that no one is really encouraging us. Our lives are so busy. We have so much information that we're processing all
A
the
lot
time.
is going on.
And then once you adapt to this trend, they tell you you just missed the boat. There's a new trend now. So now when do you adjust? So it shows you that there's so much external control and factors and influences that most of us internalize because for some reason we're not get up to be able to be still and know and be able to find within ourselves. And if you have not had that opportunity, nobody even has that perfectly done. But it's a work in progress, but it's easier for others compared to others depending on how your own programming was done from the start. But everyone has that opportunity to say, I want to redefine this thing. I want to experience something different from what my parents have experienced, from what I have been experiencing. And I want to experience something different because I can see somebody's living the type of life that I wish for.
Yeah.
It looks simpler. It looks more peaceful. It looks less taxing.
Yeah.
And I want to experience that simplicity because everything else that we're chasing is so conditional. And you are never enough. You will never do enough. So what about just going back to the basics and to your core and saying, okay, what are the basic things that I just need to do in my life to keep this thing moving?
Yeah.
Work on myself, generate the type of energy that will attract the type of people that I want. Another way of looking at it is if you want to know where you are energy wise, perspective wise, you have to look at the people that are around you. The people around you, the relationships that you have around you are a reflection of you.
Birds of the same feather.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a far-fetched saying.
They're
Hey,
still flying together,
hey, band.
flocking together.
Jolly Chomzam. I'm not sure. I must go and audit that part of life. Doc, you mentioned the importance of being still and being in tune with yourself. A lot of people would then say, I am my best version when I'm in a relationship, and I've always had, or I've always been blessed to never be single. Every time I get out of a relationship, I always find a new one. I'm always in a relationship, so I'm blessed, and I find my stillness in there. Is that healthy?
No one finds stillness in somebody else.
Ooh.
Stillness is only in you and your God. No one can give you stillness. And if you give that power to somebody else, they can always take it away from you.
100%. Bars. Should be a rapper, dog. Bars. Bars. I mean, I like the fact that you say that they can always take it away. And now I want to find out. So let's say I get out of a relationship and I'm freshly single and I have this thing where I'm just like, but I'm the best version of myself when I'm in a relationship. Is there a specific time when I should give myself like a cool down? Is there a cool down period where I should say, is it time wise or can we benchmark by emotion? How do I know how long I should wait and maybe now I'm ready to try again?
I think that what will determine that, first of all, is you have to be aware, take an audit first of what went wrong. What were you not happy about?
Okay.
What you wished for, because you've got targets and goals that you need to work on, so to say. So if you haven't had, that time to reflect on the reality of what broke your heart or why you're single or why you don't want to be single, you're going to just keep repeating the same thing. So most of us really avoid the space of being by ourselves because when you're by yourself, you have to account a lot to yourself.
Hey.
There's
And you must
another part
face
of
your
it.
demons.
That's the
Yeah. No one's coming to save you. Yeah.
So you can imagine when you're always with someone, what it automatically means is you never get time to reach down to you. And you'll never be confident to say, this is what I want, this is what I can offer, because you don't even know. How do you know? Because you've never had the chance.
Wow. It's Valentine's Day. We're speaking about being single with Dr. BP Petle and how you can turn that into a positive experience. If you have any questions for her, tweet us at YFM using hashtag the Nightcap, hashtag Nightcap Conversations. Maybe you can also send through a voice note and we'll ask her shortly before we let her go and simply go, hey, doctor, the single Nami, or I'm struggling with being single, or I want to be single. How can I look at this? Send through those questions. Doc, now while you're single, what are the most important parts of yourself that you should be working on during that period?
I think I have a model that I've made that I call vitality model. So vitality model is all about the practical tools, because sometimes we also overthink, like, what do I need to do? What is the recipe? And then eventually you don't even know what to do, because as you're researching, somebody's saying something else, somebody's saying something else.
Yeah.
So how do we simplify this in a way that the point of the matter is, if you're okay, everything else around you is going to be okay. So these tools are just some basic things, that we can take for granted, but at least they will they will take you to a place where you start saying, okay, I think I'm feeling. And how you would know also is, you will notice the things, you'll just start liking different things. You might like different type of people. You feel different. Let's say, for example, you're always that person that, there are levels and bars. Like, you can't go to a party without your Louis Vuitton, your Gucci, and
Yes.
da 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 da. And then suddenly, like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a t-shirt from Mr. Price,
And I'm going to the
and
party.
I'm going to the party, because what is this party about actually? Why do I have to strangulate myself just to meet certain people's standards? Those the same people who are not even happy by themselves, they can't sleep by themselves. And I'm trying to comply and fit in and be, congratulated. They know when I come in, this and that, but it's stressing you. The thing is, when you are by yourself, you know the truth.
Yeah.
You like this. Honestly, I can't take this. I can't afford. I don't actually like this. I don't actually like those type of comments and da 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 da. I can actually do without. So is you being forced to be in a place where you start loving yourself enough to walk away from certain relationships, to walk away from certain deals, to walk away from certain habits, so that you can experience a bit of peace in your life. Because the simpler your life is, the better.
It's absolutely true what you say about the fact that when you're alone, really all the demons come out to play, and really you are there, and on that chance, no one's coming to save you.
Acknowledge them. Don't run away from them.
So now I want to ask you, because now a lot of people would then say, I don't want to be single because I don't know how to be alone. Like, I feel overwhelmed. All of these things come just lonely time is misery time for me.
Yes.
And my misery likes company. So I want to be in a relationship. So how can a person deal with the lonely time?
So I think this is where the tools come in. So just some practical things. Most of us know it, but we kind of, use them separately in pieces there and there. But when you put it all together, the body, mind, and spirit are able to work together for your good. So I've made them up 10 of them.
All right, let's hear them.
First one is about a nutritious diet. I know it's the simplest things, but these things go to your cell, the cell that makes up tissues, organ systems, eventually. So it's a buildup of everything. So it all starts at a cellular level.
Dom, I'm smiling because I'm airing myself today. This is such a personal show. So when you say nutritious, right?
Yeah.
What's the most important part about this? Is it the nutrients that you get from your diet, or living a balanced life? I mean, I was on a diet. The team knows. The last time you were here, I was actually on a diet, but my diet was was a pizza a day. So I would only eat like one pizza, but I would eat half the pizza and then I'd eat the other half of the pizza later. And I felt like I was balanced. Is that not how we're supposed to be thinking about it?
It sounds balanced because you ate the one half.
Yes.
And then later you eat the
half plus half is one. A pizza a day. Is that? I'm pretty sure that's not how we're supposed to be looking at it.
Not really.
Yeah.
So when it comes to nutrition, because we use the word diet and most of us don't even understand what this diet thing is. It's very frustrating. To just keep it simple. A nutritious meal is the home cooked food. Just something simple, at home cooked. The fresher the better, honestly, because most of these fast foods, they are not pro-life. There's nothing wrong with eating them. Also based on the type of jobs that you do, the demands and da 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 da. But if you can simplify your life by most of the time just eat at home, simple things. And the beautiful thing about that also is budget-wise, because I mean, we're so pressed. You're going to a restaurant every other day. You don't even have money. You can't afford. That's true. But you have to be there just to take a selfie.
Hey,
and
we can't afford.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So life is about the simpler the better. So nutritious food is just about eating fresh food as much as possible, home cooked food as much as possible, drinking your water. So all this simple, free, to the point stuff, that's it. And when you're full, just stop eating. Simple things like when you're full, just stop. Drink, hydrate enough, because when we hydrate ourselves, the cells also work better. They get to do what they need to do better. The body is able to help itself. We just need to assist the body. So a diet is not like when you just eat only this and all, because there's so many theories and researches around diets that is so extreme. But something in between, just a simple home cooked meal. When you're full, stop. Don't eat too late. Drink your water. Simple. That's nutritious.
Number two.
Number two, regular exercise. Keyword being regular. So we need at least about 20 minutes of exercise, at least 5 times a week.
Okay.
So you don't need 2 hours in the gym, because I mean, even the Bible, God says you can't be praying the whole time.
That's true.
Like, no, I'm still praying. Like, the whole day you're praying. When are you gonna work? When are you gonna make money?
When are you gonna do other things?
When are you gonna do other things? So anything that is too extreme is always questionable. So usually 20 minutes, it's been proven now that 20 minutes, at least 5 days a week, is adequate. That's it. Exercise alone is important in terms of just stabilizing our mood. Exercise alone. That alone goes a long way. It improves your mood. You feel better. You just become clearer. You notice that every time you exercise, you just have a bit of hope, because there are some natural endorphins that are released in that process. That works. So all of this you have to put together, right?
All right.
Then number three, sleep hygiene. Sleep hygiene has to do with quality of sleep. So the best time to sleep, ideally, is between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. because in that period, there's a hormone called melatonin that will be secreted by the body. And is secreted, the room has to be dark. So meaning no phones. Most of us, when it's time to sleep, you're on your phone, the TV is on.
We're tweeting.
You're tweeting. You just want to see that last scary move on TikTok before you sleep, and you're expecting to have peaceful dreams.
Oh, but dog.
Happen.
I mean, I feel like I'm at my prime on Twitter just before I sleep, you know?
In actual fact, just before you sleep, you should be taming your brain to what you want it to remember and to be accustomed to. So you should actually be putting affirmations on your phone as you go to sleep, affirming that whatever that you need to affirm in your life. So you can download different affirmations. Once, if you're working on confidence, yes. If you're talking about self-love, yes. If you're talking whatever, then you affirm, then you play that while you're sleeping, because that's how you teach your brain new habits, new thoughts. So you can't go to sleep on something that does not serve you.
Sure.
Or it's not going to build on what you want.
Sure.
So as you go to sleep, you have to go to sleep, whether read your Bible, because it can be read now on audio. You play your Bible, you play affirmations, the brain will take that in, because once you're older, you cannot teach the brain new things. But you can only teach it new things, but the old things cannot be erased. So to say, I think I put it well. So you cannot erase what is already there. You can only teach it other new stuff that can override what is already stored. So sleeping is critical, because the body itself will heal itself, remove abnormal cells during that time, reduce your stress hormones in that time. So the quality of sleep is important. So it's about what time you sleep. The room has to be super dark, no gadgets. Take a warm bath if you're struggling to sleep. Maybe exercise just before you sleep. Take a warm bath. And then for adults and those people that are in healthy relationship, yes, you can have sex. It also works. It's got its own role in helping you sleep better and just being hopeful about life. But I always say to teenagers, the best way is there's nothing wrong with sex. Sex is meant to be beautiful, but with the right person
at the right time.
At the right time.
100%.
If one of them is out, it tends to cause us a lot of stress.
Right, Doc. The next one.
The next one, quiet time. Quiet time is important on a daily basis, which is what you're talking about, just being scared to be by yourself. You don't want to any quietness. Once there's quietness, you want to play music. If it's not music, you play. There's one. So at some point, allow yourself to experience the quietness and the scariness of the quietness. But if you allow yourself to go through the quietness, God will talk to you. You will hear God. You will know what to do. Because if you are so busy, there's no way that you can hear the final voice within you. God has the answers for us because He created us for a purpose with the tools, practical things that we can do. Like literally, He can guide you to say, talk to this person tomorrow. Tomorrow, do 1, 2, 3. Because He wants us to succeed in all these areas, but we deny Him because we have a level of saying, I want to do what I want. I'm going to create my own purpose. Like, okay, create it.
This is
Let's
how
see
I'm
how
gonna
it
do it.
goes.
Yeah.
Create it, then we'll follow up. Yeah.
You'll come
Give
back and
us
tell us.
feedback. Yeah, give us feedback
Yeah. All
on
right.
how you're able to create your own world. So allow at least 30 minutes of quietness. Allow yourself 30 minutes of quietness, especially in the morning because it's quiet overall. During that quiet time, it's either you read your Bible or you can just be grateful or just be quiet and just listen to the stillness, because that's when things come up, things pop up, and allow them to come. And write things down. If you need to write things down. Reflect, think, ask yourself questions, because that's the only time where you actually be able to be honest with yourself. That quiet time. Number 5, healthy relationships. Healthy relationships is not only intimate relationships, any relationship,
Friendships given.
any
Family
relationship.
also.
Yes. And the question is, how do you define a healthy relationship? A healthy relationship is a relationship where there's reciprocity, it's a give and take. If a relationship is somebody always taking, they never fill in, obviously that is not healthy.
Yeah.
And if you are the one who's always filling in, you do feel depleted because it's
100%.
not natural. So a healthy relationship means there's a give and take. You're able to communicate. If you're not comfortable or happy, you're able to say, okay, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling. So that open communication, allowing somebody to be able to express themselves, that's what makes a relationship healthy. And when you feel that you don't have the resources, communicate and say, you know what, I'm not feeling okay now. Can we talk tomorrow? Don't be just rude and cut people down, or you throw tantrums.
Yeah.
And people start fearing you, avoiding you,
Mm-hmm.
because
You're a
just
monster.
a monster. When you
Yeah.
feel that, you know what, I'm not in a good space,
Yeah.
just say, you know what, I'm not okay. I really respect you. I hear what you're saying. Just give me some time. Let me just recover. And then can we talk about this tomorrow? Can we get back to this? It's a level of maturity, and it goes a long way, because it also exposes other people in your life when you're able to. Because if you're shouting, the other person never accounts because you're both shouting. Then they just put it back to you.
And then you're not getting anywhere.
You're not getting an answer eventually.
Yeah.
Then there is personal development and purposefulness. So that has to do with keep yourself busy, commit actually to studying something different, something new. Because when you commit yourself to doing something that you're not comfortable with or that challenges you, it removes the attention from yourself, because you have to attend to that thing to get it right. And the purposefulness also comes to a point that the purpose of work obviously is to work. When you are at work,
You have to work.
work. So most of us, you're at work and you're like, oh, I wish I was off. And then when you don't have a job, you're like, God, if you can just give me a job. Then you get to the job, you're like, yeah, this guy is the one to control me. Hey, I'm going to CCMA. Because sometimes you can exaggerate this thing. There's a place for that. But most of us, when you look at the case, we have not even done our part. We have not served.
In fact, you might be the wrong one.
Most of the time, that's the case.
Yeah.
It's funny how people that actually respect the art of work, they hardly even get to that place. But the ones that are not doing the work, they're the ones who complain the most, the ones that are miserable the most, the ones that are always gossiping, they're miserable. They're complaining about the ones that are going in and putting in the effort. So when you are at work, be fully present. You being fully present is going to add something to your own life, because you always get what you're putting out.
And it will also teach you like
Yeah.
discipline and how to
Yes.
stay true to things that you commit to.
Absolutely.
Wow, I agree.
Absolutely.
The next one, Doc.
Proper planning and execution. So planning alone goes a long way because it gives you a level of control. Planning also keeps you busy because it means by the time you're planning, it means you are thinking. It means you must have put some thought into whatever. So you have to be forced to think and desire something and plan. And after you've planned something, make sure you execute it. Because every time you start something and finish it, it also gives, those positive feel-good hormones, which is part of just making you feel good and realize that you can do other things. Because when you're a better person, you attract better people.
Also the confidence, to say,
Absolutely.
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
I started that and I finished that.
That's it.
Absolutely love it.
All right. So another thing.
This is number 9 now.
It's actually number 8.
8, okay.
Yeah. So intoxicants. It has to do with anything that disturbs the basic structure function of our bodies. This includes alcohol, it includes sugar, it includes drugs. So all those things are things that we should try to minimize because they do affect our mood. They affect how we approach situations. they affect how we choose people in our life, because there is no way that you can drink alcohol and say, no, mina yenzi next year.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, it's not
Yes, those
possible.
people. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but
It's not possible because it does change the molecular structure in your body. So there's no way that it just came in and it came out. So those type of things is more of, if yes, if you are using it, take it in moderation, or at least plan when you're going to do it so that it doesn't cost you in terms of decision making sometimes, because sometimes you make a bad move
Yep.
because you are not in a sober state, so to say. Number 9, if you have any disease that is diagnosed, manage it. Manage it. And in this case, I'll highlight mental health. Okay, so mental health is a big deal. There's a lot of factors that contribute to that, and we need to actively be working on it. But even the things that we've counted already, they work counter, the effects of mental health challenges, because they also improve. But sometimes it's at a point where we also have to add medication. If it's necessary, do it. But the basics is, when you do those basics, somehow most of this mental health problems will fall off. They naturally fall off because they tend to come because basically you're just lazing around,
Yeah.
just hoping things work themselves out. But when you start taking accountability and doing the bit of what we've discussed, most of these conditions just fall off by themselves, that you don't even need medication. But if you do need medication, take your medication and reflect honestly. And like I mentioned the other time, it's always important, as part of our reflection, always reflect on your parents and your grandparents at least, and see the traits that are there.
Where it might be coming from.
Traits, negative traits, positive traits, take them and understand that your asset. Negative traits, identify them and say, how am I going to counter this? Because if I don't counter it, I'm going to experience it most likely. The chances are high that I'm going to be in exactly the same situation. So prevent disease that you can prevent, treat disease that you can treat. Number 10, I already spoke about it, is a bit about, sexual intimacy. There's a difference between sex and sexual intimacy, because obviously sex is just sex. Animals can also have sex.
Yeah.
Somebody who's totally not mentally in a good state can still have sex. So that is just an act that can be done by anything and anyone, so to say. But sexual intimacy has to do with a level of the maturity of the relationship. So
Yeah.
it just hits different. So when you are in a good space and you're with somebody who is in a good space, because naturally you'll attract what you are, you tend to experience this thing better. And also, sex does not become a measure of, the performance of the relationship, because there's deeper, meaningful things that you do together.
You must always strive to make love and not have sex. I think that's a good way to look at it.
I think you summarized it well in a YFM mode.
I said Hasimo Metro Mo. Oh my goodness me. Well, Doc, we have about 5 minutes left together. We've got questions from listeners that I have to get to you. This one is from Mbali. Mbali says, hi, Dr. Bibi. I'm recently single and all my girlfriends are in serious relationships. I feel like there's something wrong with me because I can't keep a man. I want to know if you think that the idea of keeping a man rather is true, and what advice would you have for my situation?
Well, you never keep a man and you never keep anyone. So people stay because they want to stay. The environment allows them to stay. And the best way is just to allow herself to be where she is. Sit down, not compare herself, because the thing is, remember, once you start comparing, you can't even introspect on your own life, because the measure has moved. You stop taking accountability, and all you're looking at is, what are they doing, what am I not doing? And you forget that you have your own journey. You have your own upbringing, your own past, your own experience, your own expectations, and all of that is unique to you. So she must just allow herself to be where she is. There's not necessarily anything wrong with her. She has to just allow this time to find clarity in her own life, know what she wants, what she doesn't want, what has happened before in the generations before her, what does she hope for, and then who can role model who is role modeling what she wants, and what can she learn from them. What is she doing to work towards what she hopes for? Because otherwise, if she doesn't do that, she's going to end up just finding somebody who is not even what she wants
Or suited for her.
just because she's pressed. Because when you're pressed, obviously you don't have time to vet a situation.
It's true.
You are pressed, so you quickly move in so that you can match up with your peers. But
That's
this
true.
is never ideal.
Sure. All right. Here's one from Tepo. Tepo says, "Hi, Dr. BB. I'm a 24-year-old guy and I've been single my whole life. People tease me about this because I'm not really doing what is popular in culture. What do you think are some of the things I should look for in a partner when I finally do decide to get into a relationship and start dating?"
Yeah, that's very interesting and quite uncommon. Because most of us start relationships quite early. So it also depends what are his reasons for not being in a relationship. But I assume it sounds like it's a choice because he's saying when he gets ready, then what must he look out for? So because he doesn't have experience per se, he will have to just pick and look for things around because he has never been in that before. But the beautiful thing is he can identify role models that are living the type of or having the type of relationships that he hopes for and try to see what are the common denominators in those relationships. But the best thing is, as while he's single now, without being too extreme, he must develop himself like the 10 tools that we're talking about now. Just start doing that. And as you do it, you also become more and more refined because as you also grow older, you see that what is important to you today is different from what was important to you yesterday.
Yesterday.
So you just need to be present and realize that what is it about me today, what I want today for tomorrow type of thing. So he must kind of get to a place where he knows what he wants
All
eventually.
right. I also think he must just trial and error, doc. Like,
Hey,
they must hurt him a bit. He must feel experience is the best
he
teacher.
must look up to you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow, wow, wow. Let's take the last one. This one's from Anonymous. Anonymous says, "Hi, Dr. BB. Do you think that self-love is connected to singleness? If so, how?"
Self-love connected to singleness.
Mm.
Not necessarily.
Maybe can I say I'm single because I love myself?
No.
I've got self-love. I've got self-respect.
No. They're not related.
I promise you, I'm not anonymous. It's not me. It's not me. I promise you.
I was thinking, like, is that you?
No, it's not me. I promise you, it's not me. All right, so they're not related.
So they're not related.
All right.
It just depends. If you're single, you're single. If you love yourself, you love yourself. But doesn't mean the other one leads to the other one. But obviously, if you love yourself and you happen to be single, it's fine, and vice versa.
Yeah. All right, Doc, thank you so much. Before I let you go, where can we find you on social media? Just in case I'm listening now and I'm just like, I need to get a hold of that lady. How do I find you?
My website is www.drbspeaks, so DRBB speaks with the s.co.za, drbspeaks.co.za. All my handles are there on my website.
Absolutely love it. Doc, thank you so much for joining us on this Valentine's Day and helping us dissect this topic of singleness.